At long last, we get to the great Batman games. Batman Arkham Asylum had a lot of hype leading up to its release, with many trailers calling it the Batman game you've been waiting for. It had quite the attention of being the Batman game. While there are many other Batman games out there, I did the ones I had a personal connection to. I'd love to play the NES Batman game one day, but that's for another time. Now it's time to focus on Arkham Asylum. Rocksteady Studios developed this game, using Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill reprising their iconic roles as Batman and Joker, and featuring Paul Dini, writer for Batman the Animated Series, writing the game's story. The game was practically a dream come true for Batman fans. I'm playing this off of the Return to Arkham remaster for the PS4. Now it's time to analyze the story. Skip to this time if you don't want to be spoiled. Here we go. So the night begins as any typical Batman game would. Batman has just defeated the Joker and is returning him to Arkham Asylum. But Batman finds that capturing the Joker was a little too easy and decides to follow him into the asylum. So as predicted, Joker escapes and reveals that coming back to the asylum was his plan all along. So what follows is Batman chasing the Joker throughout the asylum while trying to figure out what his plan is. There are twists and turns throughout the story. Batman encounters a fair share of rogues throughout the story, in addition to the Joker, who is the overarching villain. Each villain adds something to the plot. The first is Bane, who when we first meet him, Bane is a shriveled up midget, which definitely adds a sense of intrigue to the situation. Reoccurring character Dr. Penny Young is hinted to be hiding something, judging by that Bane is reduced to such a state. Bane's just dumb muscle, and the way he's dealt with is almost comical.
I will break you, Batman! Then the Bruja!
No, Bane. This time I break you!
I must say, that's wholly ironic. The second is Scarecrow, whose use of fear pushes Batman to the mental limit. Scarecrow is an intimidating villain whose use of fear parallels with Batman's own use of fear.
What is going on inside your head, Wayne? He's gone. Just a twisted shell of a man.
But Scarecrow underestimates Batman's sheer force of will.
How are you doing this? You've ingested enough toxins to drive 10 men insane!
Scarecrow's fate is given a bit of an ambiguous situation as he's grabbed by Killer Croc. Never to be seen again, I'm sure. The third villain we'll focus on is Victor Zsasz, whose sadism is highlighted.
I see anything that looks even a little bit like a bat, and this guard dies.
Zsasz is mainly used to teach you how to play the game. He only makes 2 appearances in the game's plot, though he serves to highlight one of the game's more tense moments where he holds Dr. Young at knife point. After getting knocked out, Zsasz disappears for the rest of the story. Kinda odd. The fourth villain we'll talk about is Killer Croc, who gets quite the introduction. He's huge in this game. He towers over Batman. You really do believe that he could devour Batman whole. When gathering the cure for the venom, Batman has to go through Killer Croc's lair, and it's one of the most tense parts in the game. It's really atmospheric, but Batman just outsmarts Croc.
Croc's just an animal, and animals just need traps and the right bait. I'll be fine.
Trapping him in his own lair is pretty satisfying. The fifth villain we'll cover is Poison Ivy. She's introduced in her cell. It doesn't seem that Joker planned to let her out, but Harley takes pity on her, so Ivy's plans start growing and eventually begin enveloping the whole island. Poison Ivy makes for a very good near-the-final area villain. Of course, she doesn't take it well when Batman destroys her plants. The sixth villain is the Riddler. He's not exactly seen in person. He just contacts Batman via radio. He's left over 200 of his riddles on the island for Batman to solve. I guess for no other reason than to prove that he's better than Batman. It's pretty obvious that he was planning this with Joker. It's rather enjoyable to watch him go from smug to shocked to just losing his cool after Batman solves his riddles.
That one was impossible to solve. How did you do it?
The seventh villain is Harley Quinn. She serves as the Joker's henchwoman.
You're my henchman.
That's one way of putting it. Voiced by what I think is for the final time by Arlene Sorkin, Harley has a new nurse's outfit, but her relationship with Joker is largely kept the same. She's dealt with in a cutscene because when you get down to it, she's no match for Batman.
You won't find Mr. J. He's in the secret lab in the gardens and... oh, crap!
Yep, I know.
Damn! Well, he'll get me out, you'll see!
And she's still dumb. Finally, that leaves us with Joker. This incarnation of the Joker is very sadistic. The most sadistic and evil version Mark Hamill has played. Joker is chaos incarnate. He kills people.
Him go now.
Really? Okay, if you say so, then. Whoopsie!
No!
Interestingly, you can visit the visitor's room, where Joker will challenge Batman in a psychological sense.
Who is that behind the mask? Why do you feel the need to go out into the world and fight people like me? Do you really think you can win? We'll see.
You're always stuck in first-person view for these parts while you talk to this statue of Joker. Batman keeps in contact with Oracle via headset. Gordon appears, but he really just serves as a hostage. Why does Batman always have to save Gordon in Arkham Asylum? Dr. Young unfortunately got caught up with the Joker, and though she tries to redeem herself, sadly her death prevents it. There's the Warden Quincy Sharp, who is so full of himself, but there's some interesting foreshadowing about his mayoral campaign, and why does he have a secret room hidden in his office? Interesting. There's also a hidden mystery throughout the island that you can solve. This, along with the interview tapes, really helped to flesh out Arkham Asylum's world. The story is great. It's your basic Batman vs. Joker story, but it's enough to keep you entertained. The Titan plot is basic, but it gets the job done, as it serves as an effective MacGuffin to drive the plot. Batman is portrayed as he should be, driven, focused, and all-around badass. He doesn't get as much focus in this game, but future games would give his character more focus. I love that he has a Batcave in Arkham Asylum. He's always prepared for every possible occurrence. Now let's cover the graphics and presentation. The game looks beautiful. It's always raining in Arkham Asylum. Arkham has a really gnar look to it. It reminds me a lot of the Tim Burton films, and I always praise those films for how Gotham looks, and it seems Rocksteady felt that was the best look. I love the little glimpses of Gotham City you get from the island. There are different areas of Arkham Asylum which definitely add some life to Arkham. The music adds ambience to the mood. The sound effects are just awesome. I love that Batman's costume gets torn up as the night goes. You do have to spend a lot of your time in detective mode, which can sour the look a bit. Now let's cover the gameplay. When controlling Batman when he's not in combat or sneaking around, he moves exactly as he should. He runs perfectly fine with the push of a button. He has access to various gadgets, though at the beginning, you only have access to your batarangs. I love being able to grapple up to almost anything. Batman gains access to his various gadgets as you go through the game, though I question why he doesn't keep them on him at all times. I get it's for gameplay integration, but come on. When it comes time to lock fists, that's when it comes time to use free-flow combat. Batman moves like a ninja with fast, swift strikes. Countering is made into second nature, as they often telegraph their moves very easily. It's best not to start hitting someone else, as you will get hit right away. I love the satisfying close-up shot whenever you knock the last opponent down. It's not like Dark Tomorrow where you had a close-up every 5 seconds. You know it's the final blow when it happens. I love being able to beat up multiple opponents at once. Now for the stealth segments. This is where you really feel like you're Batman. Attacking thugs with firearms head-on will get you killed. You need to be smart, sneak up behind them, or use the environment in certain ways to take them out. I love methodically taking them down one at a time and watching them begin to panic. After taking one out, they will group up and begin trying to search the area. But after you take more and more out, they begin to abandon their friends because it's every man for himself. These evolve as the game goes on. As your enemies become stronger, so do you. You can upgrade Batman's health and gadgets in any way you see fit. My only complaint is that the enemy designs are limited. You're pretty much just fighting Joker thugs. I understand Joker is the primary villain, and they do allow for some insane Arkham thugs to be fought later on, but for the majority of the game, you're fighting Joker thugs. So in that aspect, the game is a little disappointing. You can also find Riddler trophies throughout the game. It's purely a side mission though, so you're not obligated to do them. I love doing them mostly because I just recognize where all of them are. Some are just trophies, while some are riddles that you have to solve. You unlock character bios this way, and they're pretty standard. I love that Riddler went to all this trouble to just try to prove to Batman that he's smarter than him, even though he really didn't do anything all that special. The Scarecrow parts of the game are just awesome. They really challenge your reality. These completely blew me away when I first played them. That leads me into the next part of the game. The game over screens are awesome. In fact, they actually make dying a little fun in this game.
And at the end of fear, oblivion.
Oh, isn't that cute? Little bats are sleeping.
You're dead and buried, darling.
What I will also criticize the game for is that the boss battles are a little on the meh side. You have Bane to serve as the opening boss battle, and he's pretty much the standard for all the battles since you have to fight Titan-powered mooks. It gets a little on the repetitive side. Some aren't even fought at all, some are dealt in cutscenes. There's one battle that's different, but it's not much. In addition to the regular gameplay, you can access challenge mode where you can get higher points, and in Predator mode, you have to take out goons in certain ways to get points. You can also play as the Joker in this mode. He's interesting to use because he plays differently than Batman, but he's also harder to use as he doesn't get as many gadgets and his health is weaker too. He also doesn't have access to detective mode full-time like Batman does, so Joker's definitely hard mode. I enjoyed playing as him, but he was actually exclusive to PS3 owners in the original release, but with Return to Arkham, that's no longer the case. Now for the final boss. Skip to this time in the video if you don't want to be spoiled. You have been warned. So Batman goes to the party that Joker holds for him. Of course, I chose to be a spoilsport and knocked everyone out. It turns out the Joker statue you were talking to throughout the game wasn't really a statue at all. So Batman and Joker confront each other. He sicks 2 Titans on you and more of his henchmen. Yeah, it's not really very creative. So whatever, you beat them, and then it turns out that Joker recaptured Gordon. I mean, come on, Commissioner, how the hell did you get caught? You were shown leaving the island. Whatever, Batman takes the Titan Dart meant for Gordon, but through sheer willpower resists the change. That's impressive. So Joker does what he usually does.
I just wanted to bring down your grim facade and for once let you see the world as I see it, giggling in a corner and bleeding. But you've denied me even that. I have nothing to live for.
Oh, this is kind of hard to watch knowing that... Never mind. So Joker has mutated into a Titan. He looks ridiculous, but I guess that's the whole point. Unlike other Titans, Joker can still talk like a normal person because, well, I don't know. They don't really explain that. So Titan Joker is basically invulnerable for this part of the battle. Of course, he doesn't keep doing this, he just gets bored and sends his goons at you. Then, when he's distracted, you have to pull him down. Rinse and repeat 3 times, so Joker keeps making the same mistake over and over. For a final boss, it's a little lackluster, and it's a blemish on an otherwise great game. Although the final blow is immensely satisfying.
Ready for the next round?
Always.
What?
I'll never let you win. Never.
So Batman and Gordon say their farewells, and Batman goes off to stop Two-Face from robbing the bank. You get a bit of a sequel hook, but it varies on who you get. Not much to it. I don't think it really ties into the sequel that much. But yeah, overall, that was Arkham Asylum. It's a very impressively made game. It's the Batman game that many wanted. It delivered on that. Batman Arkham Asylum is well worth your time and money. If you haven't played it by now, play it. It's worth it. Next time we'll be doing the sequel, Arkham City. Could Arkham City expand on what made Arkham Asylum great and make it even better? One way to find out. Join me then. Thanks for watching. I'm signing off. If you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button. See you later.